The Tim Reeves and Dan Sale starting behind Ben and Tom Birchall.
We're off.
As away they go.
And it's a good start, isn't it? From that number one machine of Ben Birchall.
Oh, the bell's looking over at Reeves and Sale.
Squeezing Tim Reeves, really, just a little bit. What's going to happen there? They're still side by side. Tim Reeves has got the position.
Yeah, Reeves has got the position. Gary Bryan as well. Squeaking tyres.
How do you tiptoe round Ballachagan in a sidecar? But you do, don't you?
Well, they did. And now then, Tim Reeves and Dan Sale, what have they got in terms of grunt?
Oh, lots of it. Look, lots of it.
Yeah, they're pulling out the slipstream. Oh, look how many are as well. Bell and...
It's number 4 in the background, isn't it? That's Wayne Lockie.
He's not done it. The Birchalls hold on. Yeah, Lockie did it. Bell did it. But certainly Reeves didn't do it.
He might just have peaked a bit too soon with that. If he'd given it another second, he might have just got a bit more toe from it.
But having said that, he was out of Ballachagan rather rapidly, wasn't he? So
yeah, it was all there for him. But it's the Birchalls in front.
So then, Birchalls from Reeves, from Bells, from Bryan.
That's Wayne Lockie. I could see that leg in the air. That's Luke Capewell with Wayne Lockie, isn't it? Every time round Ballachagan, it's like that statue in Piccadilly Circus, isn't it? One leg kicks up behind him. That's the fella, the man with the bow and arrows.
Conrad Harrison, good stop for him as well. But these four breaking away already, and Gary Bryan and Jamie Wynn.
They're looking very good, aren't they?
Yeah, they're looking to take back third place from Ian and Carl Bell. We're back with Tim Reeves and Dan Sale. One win already for them this week. This is further back down the order. Number 15, that's Stuart Stobbart and Robert Lunt. We're on board with Conrad Harrison.
Figured highly in the first race, of course.
Keep all 3 wheels down, please. Sounds great.
Cross 4 ways for the first time. Somehow or other, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but somehow or other, when we go on board with Tim Reeves, that Honda sounds a lot nastier than the other. It's got a real sharp bark to it, and I think we saw some of its horsepower. Listen to that. It's got an edge to it, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Can he reel in the Birchalls, though? I think he can. Especially on the brakes, he closed that up a bit, didn't he?
He did, certainly did.
Early on the gas.
Ben and Tom Birchall then into Castleton Corner. Tim Reeves and Dan Sale just behind. Ian and Carl Bell, Gary Bryan and Jamie Wynn. They're looking at Harrison, Lockie and Lambert.
And objects in the onboard camera are a lot closer than they appear. Look at the difference between onboard, the wide angle in the onboard and the trackside cameras. From onboard, you'd think they'd lost the race already, but no.
Tim Reeves, I thought for a moment there he was closing in on Tom Birchall more than he actually is. Tom and Ben Birchall, of course, they stepped down from the results on Tuesday. They had a tuned engine when they weren't supposed to, and so therefore they decided to stand down. But this time Tim Reeves is going past us. I don't know, this is exactly what he did before, but the Birchalls had enough to hold him off.
I think he's got it this time. I think he just took a bit more slipstream from them this time, and that's made it work.
And also, I think Ben and Tom had to let him go, didn't they, really? You commit there, and one's going to let the other go through. There isn't enough room for 2.
I've got to quote Roy Hanks to you at this moment. He said, when you look at it from trackside, it doesn't seem possible, but at speed, it works.
Excellent quote. Roy Hanks in this race, of course. So Ben and Tom Birchall, can they react to Tim Reeves and Dan Sale? Conrad Harrison could be hoping for another podium. He's gone well round out in the past, but not as well as Tim Reeves and Dan Sale.
And they are going well, aren't they? Out in front.
Yeah, but you've got to stick it over race distance, of course, haven't you? They've learned that in the past.
And behind them, the same 3, Gary Bryan bringing out the last of the top 4.
Yes, then we go back to the likes of Conrad Harrison, who we ride with, and Greg Lambert and Wayne Lockie.
David Hurst on number 8 there.
Yeah, and 21, Dean Lindley just behind him. Cross 4 ways, nice and quick. That's the way to do it. You can tell by the speed.
Yes, he had that all wound up straight away, didn't he? None of that hunting around looking for a little bit of traction and then a little bit of RPM.
Ian and Carl Bell, can we discount them? Have they got something up their sleeves? Former champions, of course.
This is already quite stretched out. It's a lot clearer this race than the first sidecar race. So I'm thinking we're looking at a result here, aren't we?
Could well be. It all depends.
Please do that.
Again, lots of battles going on all over the track. That was 21 Dean Lindley, of course, trying to look for a way past. And we saw the Birchells, okay, different engine this time to the one they used on Tuesday, but we saw them getting faster as the race went on, didn't we, on Tuesday night?
Certainly did. But then behind them, the Bells aren't gaining on them. Gary Bryant behind that isn't really gaining. So everyone's pretty much as they are. And Tim Reeves is just eking out a little bit of a margin here and there. And he's gradually nudging himself further ahead. And that's about the only change that I can see that's happening or likely to happen unless somebody makes a mistake. We do see it, of course.
That again did sound so sweet around Ballachagan. You tell with the revs, keeping the revs high, keeping the speed up. The Tim Reeves, who wants to add the Southern 100 Championship to his very respectable CV, one that includes World Championship, TT wins, British Championship, etc.
He's to be on course for that, wouldn't you say, at the moment?
This is the bit he doesn't like. You feel every bump on the approach into Ballabeg.
Yeah, so I mean, with a sidecar, if you threw a coin on the ground and drove over it, you could tell whether it was heads or tails, so those bumps really do get into the chassis and hurt you.
We noticed that as well. Gary Bryan and Jamie Wynn closing right up on Ian and Carl Bell. Conrad Harrison trying to plug that gap to fourth place.
That was 9, Darren Hope.
Yep, Darren Hope, who former passenger, now turned driver.
Place leaders, second place, third place. Is there a battle going on? Is Gary Bryant closing in?
It only takes one mistake though, doesn't it? You know, a little overshoot here or there. I mean, cross four ways, we've seen it on the solos. Get this wrong, miss your marker or whatever, and boom, you've let someone in. Or certainly, if not let them in, close them up.
Just gets it straight and then gives it all the gas in the world, doesn't he?
Number 7 at the back of this, Roy Hanks and Kevin Perry. Still racing after all these years.
We'll have a song about that, don't we? Yes, and it's still crazy after all these years, and I think it applies. There's a problem here.
No, look at this here on the speedometer, 90 miles an hour up to the ton. Should hit a ton 10 soon. Into stadium for Tim Reeves and Dan Sale.
There's no problems here though, are there? They're just sailing away with this.
Yeah.
And I'm sure the Birchells aren't gaining on them. And there's so little change in the Marie machines behind. Oh, that was right up on the curb though, wasn't it? They are trying.
Yes, that is trying. Yes, there's trying and there's trying.
Yes. I mean, it's a temptation when you don't see much of a change from lap to lap to think that they're not really doing anything except following each other around. But
yep, pretty spot on that. Still mightily impressive at these speeds around this circuit. Here we go again, Richard.
Yeah, look at this, just a little bit wide, and ow, that hurt, didn't it?
It can, and also that can cause the odd puncture as well, can't it? You know, that kind of thing. So
too much over there. Needs to flip the whole thing on its side. Still battles going on throughout the field. We talk about this so often. Every time you cut back at the Southern, there's somebody racing somebody. Even if the gaps at the front here are nice and steady, and they are. Look at the regular intervals between the top four now.
The Birchells do go quicker though towards the end of the race. 6 laps the distance on this one. It should have been 8. Conrad Harrison looking to at least
dead slow through that.
Yeah, I was going to say emulate his son Dean, who's been on the podium already today. He's already earned a race win. Number 21 Dean Lindley and Jason O'Connor.
Nice and fast.
Yeah, number 13 Cole Bennett and Lee Kane. Oh, now they're in 3rd place. It looked as if it may have been under threat.
On board with Harrison again, and look at that, up to 120 miles an hour, higher still.
And through this section as well.
Yeah. 125. That's quick when you're lying on your tummy above the ground, isn't it?
It is. Talking of quick, into Church Bends goes Tim Reeves and Dan Sale. Dan Sale, multiple winner around Ballown in the past, alongside the likes of Klaus Klappenbach and Dave Molyneux.
This thing just sounds so ferocious, doesn't it?
Again, that's the battle between Greg Lambert and Wayne Lockey, locking horns again on Tuesday.
Wayne Lockey is right behind him, isn't he? But I don't think he's going to catch him on this lap.
Yeah, quick look around from Tim Reeves. See what's going on.
Will they get there? Championship this time. I think this is going to be their year. Would have been nice to do it on the very first attempt.
Well, the Virtuals did that though, didn't they? It was their debut season last year at Milan. They have other commitments, of course, around the world. But they've come here to this little race meeting in the south of the Isle of Man. 132 miles an hour there from Conrad Harrison on the approach to Ballachagan.
Right down, and you say that's a slow corner, but it's 60 miles an hour.
Yes. Tim Reeves as well, the three legs of man on his helmet, so certainly has taken the Isle of Man to heart and taking the bells. So the Birchals are going to say Ian and Carl Bell.
I was going to say they've just broken away from Gary Bryan, haven't they? Or rather, he's dropped off.
I think they've closed in, haven't they, on Ben and Tom Birchall. They are closing right in. Here's Conrad Harrison still in 5th place.
If he could see Gary Bryan now, then we would know that that gap was changing as well.
Yep, just ease off down into the bomb hole here. It goes right.
The Bells are looking very aggressive, aren't they, in 3rd place? I think they can just get a faint whiff of 2nd place there. Number 9, Darren Hope.
Yeah, leading this little group, and coming up the back, Roy Hank still. 21, Dean Lindley and Jason O'Connor through the bomb hole.
This is the race leader.
But will it be 700 champion for 2013 in the sidecars?
That thing sounds so strong, doesn't it, as well? I can't... well, mechanical probably just come out of nowhere, doesn't it? But it's not losing power, that's for sure.
Oh, however, having said that, I would say that the Birchals are certainly closing in. A quick look at the lap times, they're all 2:37s, 2:36s, all much of a muchness really. Horst Volsack getting nudged out of the way there by John Chandler.
That is closing up, isn't it? Just a little bit.
Yeah, they have closed up those three.
I think what's happened is that the Bells are right behind them and giving them a bit of a hurry-up call. And they've got back on the case. Here's the last lap flag, though, so this is it. It's all to do in the last 4 and a bit miles.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, though, the fastest lap of the race has just gone to 2 minutes 35.8. That is Ben and Tom Birchall. They were over a second quicker than the guys in front of them. The gap's about a second and a half between them. Another couple of laps and maybe one last lap. We'll have to wait and see.
So fast down here as well, isn't it? Well, it's fast everywhere, this circuit.
They've stretched back out again on this final lap.
Reeves, Birchall, Bell, those are the gaps.
Into Ballabeg then for the final time. Again, we're looking at the usual places if anything's going to happen, but in the meantime, they've all got to close up on one another if we are going to see anything happen. Oh, that was Horst Volsack who's back, I was going to say, back past John Chandler. John Chandler falls over. 21, Dean Lindley and Jason O'Connor into Ballabeg. It's been a pretty lonely race for them.
Over into the bomb hole for the final time. Go your leading trio, really, you have to say. And you'd have close enough, aren't they?
You'd have to say Tim Reeves looks to have enough of a gap. So we look at the 4th place outfit of Gary Bryan and Jamie Wynn. Looks to have enough of a gap just to be comfortable enough over the final couple of miles.
He'll risk a look back, perhaps, as they go out of cross four-ways and see what he's got to deal with. That will help him decide what he's going to do.
Might even see a cheeky little look back as he comes out of Church Bends, just to see where the Birchells are.
If you're in the passenger seat, do you look forwards or do you look back to see how close the man behind is?
This is coming down then. We're into the last mile of the Petrochem Carless Fules Sidecar Championship race. Tim Reeves and Dan Sale look to add their name to the roll of honour.
Heading towards Castletown corner. At the bottom of this straight, the last right-hander. Here we go, on the brakes hard. If it's going to happen, it has to happen here, but he wasn't taking any chances.
Unless he messes it up on the exit. No, Tim Reeves and Dan Sale's got it. Superb effort by the Birchells. Here they come across the line. It's going to be Tim Reeves and Dan Sale, Ben and Tom Birchall. And Ben and Tom Birchall have just put in the fastest lap of the race as well. Sterling effort by them. Ian and Cole Bell in third. Confirmation of the results. Ian Bell and Cole Bell taking third behind Ben and Tom Birchall, with Tim Reeves and Dan Sale the Southern 100 Sidecar champions.
I'm over the moon. You know, I set out this year I took a year off the World Championship to try and get the three things I really wanted, and one was a TT victory, one's a Southern 100 victory and a British Championship, and it's looking pretty good at the minute. I'm over the moon here, and I managed to get a couple of good laps in the middle and got away from Ben, and then he dragged me back a bit at the end. It was good, yeah, really good. I really enjoyed it.
Bridesmaids again, but you know, fair dues to Tim. He was a bit quicker than me, I think, in the early stages, and you know, when he rode well. But I certainly got to him. You know, getting by is a different story. But I had some ideas, and we were trying. Yeah, we enjoyed it. Whatever.
Around the back, actually, a couple of times where you see it on the video, we got close up with Ben, but he's just got a little bit more go. That Church Bends is fantastic coming up with it. Even when it's on its side, sometimes he still gets it nailed. I'm a bit too old for that, Carrie.